Hello class. So today we're going to wrap up this series of videos by actually doing the assignment. One thing you'll notice I'm leaving out are the sizes for this assignment. It's because I'm still adjusting the maximum upload size and everything for Canvas, so I don't want to lock you into something that may not work quite correctly. That said, I have a printout here. So let's go over this. Step 1, find a copyright-free photo or take a photo that needs to be adjusted. So watch out for this. A lot of the photos that you'll find that are free for use, free for commercial use online, have already been heavily filtered. And so they may have already been adjusted to the point where you're going to have problems figuring out if you can adjust it or not, and if it will look good and all that stuff. So a quick rule of thumb, even though we're not going to be doing this ourselves, is for you to do this and then undo it. I'm just going to go up to Image, Adjustments, Levels, and I'm going to press Auto. And notice that there was an immediate improvement. That means that there's something for us to work with. If I didn't see any change whatsoever, then yeah, I doubt that this would be a good candidate, but this one looks fine. The shortcut for that is Control-Shift-L. That is the auto level command. I'm going to go ahead and undo that, but as you know, I'm a little wary of automatic anything because it means that you don't have control yourself over it. But in this case, it's a great chance for us to see what can be done with this photo. In other words, if there's very little change, it's probably not a great candidate to work with using curves. All right. That said, using the curves adjustment layer and masks is necessary, levels is desired, improve the contrast and color of either the copyright-free photo you found or the one that you've taken. So, you know, however you want to do it. Watch out too if you're doing like the immediate improve my photo app effects and whatever from an iPhone or a Droid or what have you. They may do automatic balancing and things, and it'll make it more difficult. You want one that you will see an improvement on when you work on it. The other thing that you want to watch out for is don't make the mistake that people in the past have made. Be absolutely sure that you include curves as one of the first and biggest adjustments before you do anything else. I know I touched very briefly on hue and saturation. We'll deal with that again later in the semester, so don't worry. I know that I just did some on-screen adjustments for it. I didn't show you how to use the ramps to take things down or what a bunch of the controls are. We're going to do another assignment later in the semester that takes better use of the hue saturation adjustment, and we'll walk through all of that. Feel free to explore it, though. It has a lot of useful functions. Okay, so that said, we've got a photo. I will meet the requirements that I have online, so you know, check your handout and see what I want you to work in, what size to turn in, all that good stuff. So from here, we're going to Alt double click the background layer. Here we go. Alt double click the background layer, which will convert it to layer 0. And actually, let's rename that now. We're going to call this one edited photo. We're going to have another one for comparison later, and we'll call that one original photo. And hey everybody, if I put specific layer names in the assignment, it means I'm probably going to grade you some points on that. So it's freebie points for those who are paying attention. Don't forget to name them properly though, because then you will lose points if you do that, and that would be sad. So don't lose points. Now we need a black solid color background. Go ahead and make one of those. Boom. And to save on memory, I don't need this mask. I'll just throw it away. Although the newer versions of Photoshop are super great about this. If you're not actually using the mask for anything, if you haven't touched it, it doesn't really add anything to your memory, which is pretty cool. So I'm going to call this background. And this is a good place to start. We've got a black background layer, an original photo layer, which is a copy of our edited photo layer. So now it's a great time to save. Let's use our naming convention. I'm going to do _last name -first name, and I'm going to put -01 on this. I don't mind if you put these in to iterate them up. That will, you know, save you time. And if you turn one in and you're like, hey, did I turn in 03 or 09? I will be able to tell you right away, so you'll know if you have like the newest one in, all that good stuff. Saves you hassle, so you can add those in. Okay, so we've got our edited photo, we've got our background layer, which is filled with black, and we've got our original photo. So yeah, let's see. Do I have these in the right order? That's another great question. Original photo, duplicate, bottom of the layer. Yep, that is correct. And so let's go ahead and move on to the next step. Actually, let's skip ahead with that for just a minute and look over at what follows, because the next step is apply adjustments demonstrated in class to improve the contrast and color of the image. So it's going to be the bulk of this. The next step is, after that, is to double the canvas size and then move things over, and then you're good to go. So just keep that in mind. That's why we have the original photo and the edited photo. It's going to be a side-by-side comparison for all of these things. And let's look at the helpful tips, just in case it's helpful for us. Remember to read the curves from the input value up to the curve from the bottom up, and then to the left for the output level. And so I think we all remember that. If I were to, for example, come over here and add a curves, we all remember from the many, many, many videos that you've watched previously that the data goes from the bottom up, 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 hits wherever your curve line is, and then up, 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 goes left. And that will indicate what the output will be from the input. And again, input and output are just the levels of luminosity, essentially, on a composite RGB channel, or on each of the individual channels, it's the amount of whatever color is going on there. And keep in mind, this is a histogram, which means that it's not the placement, it's the amount. And sure enough, there is no pure black in this. If we look at that, that rings true, just because it's kind of a washed out photo. Also notice the slight tint on here. That means that there's not a whole lot of white, and sure enough, the last few pixels of white's pretty much non-existent. We're probably getting some white more from in this cloth, for example, than the clouds. So this is essentially our setup, and we're going to proceed from there and start doing some adjustments. So I'll see you in the next video where we start doing all of these great adjustments. But just in case people skip the setup video for whatever reason, I'm going to throw away that curves layer so that it's nice and fresh, and then we will keep going from there. I will see you in a minute.